So what I want to do here is go ahead and take away the suspense and get into some of this information while I got a little time pertaining to the NSA. As you guys know, I'm out here out west. Honestly, this is kind of like really my first time being out here like this long. I've been out here before, but I've never been out here this long, and I'm really getting a chance to, blend with the culture and things like that of the people. And it's beautiful. However, I was supposed to go up to New York, and I had told a couple of people about it personally yesterday. And lo and behold, I guess, your little rogue agents got upset because they know that I live off of these bets with these different games, and also a couple other different side bets and ventures that I have going on. So a lot of my funds was put on hold, and I was upset, but I got to researching some of the language pertaining to the NSA and things of that nature, and it helped me to realize that they really are fully into the occult, the NSA, and everything that they do is strategic based upon these different gates and levels of clearance that they have, and they're able to block people's accounts and things like that based upon levels of clearance. So obviously they had a high level of clearance and was able to block my account. So a lot of my funds right now is on freeze because of that, and it's helping me to understand how to move through this country and how you can also get stuck in this country in certain places, because I'm in a situation now to where I'm actually stuck. I mean, I can move, but if I move, I lose resources because I move as a sovereign. So like, for instance, like if you're moving in a vehicle, for you guys that have vehicles and cars and got license plates and stuff like that, you can avoid certain taxes because the state's going to take care of that for you. However, in my situation, taxes, can't be avoided, and I have to pay on every level, and a lot of the charges are invisible because they're going to tax you through what's called units in games, because everything to them is basically like a bet for the most part, right? So what happens is that they have high levels of clearance. So what's going to happen is that, you're going to pretty much start walking these gates on an independent level when you first start walking them, meaning that you're going to be pretty much independent. But over time, you're going to start to encounter different agents. Remember that part in the Matrix when Neo encountered Agent Smith or Mr. Smith? And remember he tried to murk Mr. Smith, and he found out that Mr. Smith, there was too many of them. And every time he tried to murk them, they was just coming from out of him. They were just taking parts of him and cloning themselves and reproducing themselves based upon aborting certain experiments, that you may have encountered, or different projects that you may have embarked on, and you could just kind of aborted those projects, you leaving a door open for trouble. So what I'm going to have to do is now I'm going to have to cipher and find a way to gain access to what's called this underground or underworld network so that I can get the hell up out of here. You may be thinking, well, why don't you just go ahead and break down and get you an ID, or, or do what they want so that you don't get stuck, so you can see your family. And I'm like, you don't realize when you walk in these gates, all of that's out. It's life or death. And once that door closes, which is the situation I'm in, you have no access to go back unless you're talking about getting rid of a certain amount of resources. You have no access back into your homeland, so you have to essentially build up from where you're at and invest in where you're at until you can build a bridge or some form of a way to get back. Because I'm on the side of the country what's called the Keys side of the country, and there's another side of the country that I won't reveal, and that's where I came from, out east. And they don't have any keys out east. See, these are land keys out here. They have land locks and shit like that. So that's the situation I'm in. That's what I'm talking about with the deal with HP. See, the NSA, they know this stuff. And they know when they can access you and fuck with you on certain levels. When you get onto certain levels of breaking your deal with HP, meaning that you didn't visa enough money to get out of certain situations. And that's why I'm trying to teach people about money, because the cops and shit like that, they can't get you away from these demonic entities. You can call the police on them. The people have tried, because they're like, oh, they're trying to kill me and sacrifice me. And they're not going to respond to it because they don't understand. So it comes down to you protecting yourself through what's called psychic self-defense. However, I'm on this level to where there's no way to clear these gates unless you wait till certain portals to open and certain time gates. Like no matter how much money I had, I wouldn't be able to infiltrate certain gates until I wait for a certain portal to open, unless you're talking about, you know, doing some type of $1 million hack, of which I'm not going to do. So I don't know what's going to happen. You know, like people tell me I shouldn't talk about, you know, some of the street shit that I'm into on camera, and that's what's bringing me a lot of trouble. However, everything is about charges, you know, and everything can be bought off in this system, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about on the underground street level. I'm saying from the way that the system was set up from the beginning, which is based upon UCCs and codes, which is nothing but fiat currency. So I just look at it like I'm gonna go ahead and let them have that visa, since I'm bringing in credit like that, and go ahead and let them have that 8 racks and go ahead and make another 8 racks and try to make my exit. So this is where I'm at, guys. I'm gonna be down here for a minute. I wanted to address that and to basically go ahead and close out and say that, like, really these agents is the final frontier. Once you surpass that, you move into what's called the area of Zion, and that's going into, like I said, the Z level of Melchizedek, and this is when you are in a totally self-sustaining community, which is where I'm trying to strive to move us all into. However, I got some opposition, so, and it's serious. It's kind of like a flight risk, a life or death situation. So stay tuned. I'm definitely going to stay strong. You guys stay strong for me. I'm not really asking you guys for money. Of course, I have donations and outlets set up, but I don't know what's going to get blocked or not. But I appreciate you guys' donations. You've been helping out. And I'm going to keep investing into building up this community. And I still haven't forgot about the sign-ups and registrations on the other projects that I've been dealing with. However, all of that's going on hold right now. Everything is focused on 13 signs so that I can get out of this landlock situation that I'm in and get these keys so I can get to the other aspect of the country, so I can finish the aspect of the astral pyramid and go ahead and activate it when I get to the other part of the country. So thank you guys for listening and watching. And as always, stay vigilant. Namaste.